Hello everyone, and welcome to a new series on Ionic. So we are going to start a series on Ionic. We are going to see all its components and native APIs. I have already created a project. So if you don't know how to create a project, I'm going to make a video by tomorrow how you can start a Ionic project. Okay. So today we're going to see what exactly is a popover. Let me show you an example here. So this is for iOS. You can select your device type here, MD, just for the preview. If I click on show, you can see there is something like this. This is for Windows, for Android. If I click on iOS, if I click on show, you can see for iOS there is some arrow pointer here, but for Android that's not the case, but I'll show you how to include that. Okay, so just scroll down. Here is a default snippet, right, which they have given here. Okay, before we start using popover, we need to import it. Copy this link, the second option here, and let me go to app, home. So this is where I'm going to utilize it. So I'm going to import it here. Also, I'm going to add it to the constructor. Without this it will not work. Okay, let me copy the snippet and I'm going to paste it outside the constructor. Okay, let's generate a component. I'm going to type Ionic generate. If you don't know exact name of it, just type Ionic generate and click enter. Here it will give you an option to generate a page, component, service, module, class, directive, guard, pipe, interface, enum. So we are going to generate a component. Okay, I'm going to provide a component name as popover. So this will create a component, right? It is not going to add it anywhere, in the sense it's not going to add it to our app.routing.modules, right? If I'm generating a page or a model, it does import that automatically. It does add the path. So it's just a component. So we'll just close this. So now we have generated a component, right? If you go through this, it is added to the app folder. And let's go to app component.ts. Here you can see the exported class. So I'm going to type Ionic serve. So this will start our project on the local host port 8100. So we have generated the component. Let us import that component in our project, in our home folder, right? So I'll go to home page.ts and I'm going to type import. So I'm going to import it from popover component, and I'm going to give the same name, popover component, right, which is here. So that will be the same name for this component. If I want to pass any data, right, to this, I can use this option called component props, and I can pass any data within this. Okay, so right now I'm not passing any data, but if I need, I could pass the data here. Let me just leave that as it is, blank. So event, we will remove it for now. So I'm going to call ion button. Okay, in this I'm going to add a click event, and I'm going to use the same name for this function which I have used here. Okay, this will generate a button in Ionic. Okay, I made a mistake over here. We need to add ion there. Okay, this will create a button, right? And let me just show popover, give a name to the button. Okay, now if I click on this, it should call the function, right? That will be here, and it should show our popover page, and it should display a message called popover works. So let us click on this. Okay, it's actually giving as an error that we have to use, import it in ng module. That is, we have to go to our app module.ts, okay, and we have to import the generated component which we did earlier. I'm just going to copy this name here from here to there. I'm going to add it to my declarations as well as to, okay, there is no entry module needed, I hope. Let the page reload and we'll see the output now. Okay, I think we need to add the entry component also, so we need to add it to the declaration as well as to the entry components. If you click on popover, you can see popover works, but the popover, the button is there and the popover is showing exactly in the middle. How we can match that, right? For that, let's go back to our homepage.ts, right? And we actually deleted something in the beginning, right? We're going to add an event. I'm going to call that event. Let us be EV. Okay, comma. Okay, it's going to reload the page, and now if you see that popover, okay, it's still there. Okay, event, I added it. Okay, I need to pass an event from my, okay, let me just close this home page. I need to pass an event, $event from here. On click, this event will be passed here, and the same event will go in form of EV to this event key. Okay, so if I click on this, now you can see it is right below the button. But earlier, like I said, if we go here, right, if you click on this on Android preview, right, it just comes here. There is no arrow like in iOS, right? If I click on the show, you can see a small arrow, right? For that, you can set a property. If you scroll down, there is something called mode. So by default, we can tell this to be on iOS, okay, and it will try to render that component, that is that popover, as it is displaying in iOS. Okay, if I click on show popover now, we can see there is a small arrow added there. There's one more property which we need to know, that is how we can apply a custom CSS, right? I'll copy this CSS class, that is a key, and I'm going to give a class name, say like popover, right? I'll just copy the class name, and I have to scroll down and search for global.css scss. Okay, here let me add this. Okay, if you're not sure inside this class into which element you need to apply the style, so I'll show you a handy tool here. Let's go back here, open the popover. I'll click on this inspect tool here. If you don't know how to open this console, right, you can right click and click on inspect, so this will open up, and by default it will be like this. You can just click on this button, toggle device toolbar, and you can select a device, right, and you can select the resolution, right, not the resolution, the percentage. Okay, if I click here, it will show pop over, right, and you can see if I untick it, right, let me just reload the page and show you that again, right. If I click on show popover, you can see this HTML elements gets added dynamically, right. You can see here, if I click on this tool, inspect tool, right, if I click on this, you can see this is our popover here. This entire element is a popover, right, and I have added a class to that here. This is our class called popover, and inside that we have something called backdrop. Let me just copy that. So that's an element. Okay, so in the same level we have something called div that has a popover wrapper as a name. Okay, actually I messed it up. Okay, let me just come back to that again. Okay, here it is. Let me just copy this. As this is a class name, I have to give a dot before it. Okay, this is a nested one, and along with this we have something called, okay, I just reloaded the page again, sorry about that. Okay, with this I just copied this and popover wrapper, right? Before this we need to add the wrapper to that. So inside the popover wrapper we have popover arrow as well as popover content, right? So I'm just going to copy this here, popover wrapper and popover arrow, and we just copied popover content, right? We can see it here. We just copied popover content, that is also a class, and inside that there is a nested element called popover. Inside popover content we have a element which is popover content, and we just copied this. These are the two class which is there. So let me just paste it. So this is a class, so we have to add a dot, and inside this class I do have popover arrow. Okay, let me just align it. Okay, popover arrow and popover content is just the same level inside the popover wrapper. So I know this is a little confusing, but there is no guide on this, like how on to which element you need to apply the style. So this is how you can figure out by yourself. Actually in the beginning I also had some issues with this, but you have to do what you have to do, so you have to find a method to find out by yourself, right? Okay, so imagine this is my popover, right? And on click, right, I clicked on it and I want some background to be made available, right? Background color, right, to it, not to this element, to the background. Okay, for that what I can do here is I'll say background color as red, not red, let's keep to blue. Okay, and let it just get refreshed. Okay, if I click on the popover now, you can see there is a light hint of blue, right? If I give green, right, let it just reload, you can just see the little difference, a slight difference in the background. You can see that it's slightly green. Okay, so this is how you can apply a backdrop color, right? Okay, now we can see the arrow. Let us style the arrow. Let us go to popover, and we need to add after, while displaying the arrow the color will be applied. Okay, the after effect will be applied. So I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm going to set it to background black, and I'm going to make it important. Okay, so let me just reload, and you can see it, the background of the arrow is black. Okay, so this is for popover arrow. If I remove the after, right, and if I reload it, now you can see it doesn't apply that style. So here you can see it is applying to the other element, right? So we need to the after element, so that is why we need to apply use after there. Okay, next let us give a width and height for the popover, right? If I say width as 20, not 20, let us do 30 viewport width. Okay, height as 30 viewport height. Okay, and with this I'll add a border of 1 pixel dotted red black. Okay, just to see the difference. I'll get reload. Okay, you can see it is being applied there, but we actually don't want over there, right? We want it outside. So I just removed it outside. You can see here it has been applied. So let me do one thing. Let me just remove this two outside, and let me just remove the pop over app, right? So I'll show you why. Okay, you can see the width now, it's dotted. So let me make it to solid. Okay, you can see the output here. So with this, what I'll do is I'll just paste it back, right? I'll undo it, I'll put everything inside, I'll make it solid. So this is the width which we want, 30. We put width, height is also same. Height let's give to 20, right? And also what we do is, let us align all the text which is there inside to center. So this will center the text within that. So if you can see, it has set. Okay, I had to remove it outside. Okay, fine. And let us give a background color to that content. Background color something as Gainsborough. So that is a somewhat like gray color, light is gray. So if I click, you can see popover works, but the element is not getting centered. So for that, you can just click on inspect, right? It's a p tag which is getting applied at popover. So this has to come outside, and these two also have to come outside. I'll just keep at popover as it is. Now if I reload and see the output, right? Okay, fine. You can see it works. So this is how you can provide a custom CSS to your popovers, right? There is something missing. Okay, let us go back. So we saw the properties, so we saw events. We will see the methods, right? So there are a few methods on present, which is already explained it here, right? That is, it will present the popover, right? On like, let us see what will happen on will dismiss, right? So this is going to apply it to the popover which we have created earlier. Popover dot on will dismiss. So we're going to pass a promise. Okay, so then I'm going to add an alert here, and we'll see like before dismissing the pop over. Okay, and same thing we'll add after dismiss. I'll copy this on dismiss. As soon as it gets dismissed, we need to show an alert. Pop-up dismissed. Okay, pop-up dismissed. Okay, so let's just reload and see the output. I'll click on show popover. Okay, if I click outside, right, it says like before dismissing the popover, and as soon as I click OK, popover dismissed, and it says like it's dismissed. So if you have some API calls which you want to do as soon as you dismiss or before dismissing the popover, you can call it within this, right? You can call the function or write an API call here, or after dismissing, if you want to do something, you can do it here. Okay, so this is about popover, and I hope I have explained most of the things which is listed. So if you have any questions, right, do let me know in the comment section. And we do have Ionic series coming up every week, right? Every Saturday I'll be uploading a video. If I made any mistake, please correct me and let me know. And I hope this helped you. If this helped you, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. If it did not, you can click on the dislike button and let us know what you did not like. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.